Hello, welcome back to Crush 'em TV, and I really like this lady, Sarah Sanders. She's kind of fiery like Spicer, and when they step out of line and they do something dumb or they ask something dumb, she lets them have it, and I like that. So here, she really lays into them for focusing on the wrong things, which we all know the media has been doing, and points out the fact that they spend just a few minutes on anything actual agenda and 353 minutes on lies and a false narrative. And here you go.
We're just looking for new ways to rephrase this question. The president was attacked. He responded. There's nothing more I have to add than that. John, busy.
To his legislative agenda. I'm not asking about the tweet
Look,
itself.
I think the president
I'm asking about whether or not this helps his legislative agenda.
I think the president would love for us all to focus on the legislative agenda a whole lot more. You look at the coverage over the last month of the extended period between May and June, all of the major networks, if you look at their coverage and what they're talking about, they spent 1 minute in the evening newscast talking about tax reform, 3 minutes on infrastructure, 5 minutes on the economy and jobs, 17 minutes on healthcare, and 353 minutes attacking the president and pushing a false narrative on Russia. I mean, look at that in comparison. If you guys want to talk about legislative agenda and focus on policy and priorities, you guys get to help set that table. And 353 minutes of attacks against the president and driving a false narrative, and 1 minute on tax reform. That's over the course of a month.
Now, I find that freaking amazing. And honestly, I did not know these statistics before she said them, but I am really glad that they went out and dug up the media coverage to find that out. Because that's how I feel when I when I glance at anything. At MSNBC, ABC, not Fox, CNN, it's all this fake Russian narrative that isn't true. They don't talk about anything of substance that actually matters. Tax reform, 1 minute? Really? I mean, it's pretty dang important to everybody. Not only that, it was a huge part of the platform and a huge reason that Trump won. But yet, these numbnuts can't pull their heads out of their butt long enough to realize that the American public cares about that and that that's something that they ought to be talking about. And instead, they spend 353 minutes on this false story that, recent videos from Project Veritas, shows that they know isn't even true. They know it's a lie. But yet they think they're getting ratings, and nobody watches CNN. I don't know why they think they're getting ratings for it. I see more news about them being fake news than what I do anything out of CNN. There is nothing of substance coming out of them because it's all lies and BS, and everybody knows that the real connections are with the Democratic Party, with Hillary, Obama, Podesta, and them, and the dirty, rotten things that they've done and their connections to Russia. And Obama himself, and I have the footage, I'm not going to show it here, where even Obama said that the idea of Russians meddling in a U.S. election was ridiculous. He said that back in 2016 on the campaign trail. But yet they continue. And here, I like her fieriness and how she goes at it.
That's incredible. The numbers, guys, the numbers don't lie. The media's focus on priorities, they don't line up with the rest of America.
That's right.
Right now, we've got our economy's growing, the stock market's up, unemployment is down, jobs are back, and ISIS is on the run. America is winning, and that's what we'd like to talk about.
But you don't hear about any of that.
Ignore that narrative.
Except maybe
Fox. All of those points that you make, Sarah, about the positive elements of what the president's agenda are certainly true.
Now, notice there, that man, and I'm not sure who he works for, although I would like to know. He just acknowledged that everything she said, the positive elements of his agenda, that those are all true. Now, you never hear that on CNN, do you? I haven't. I've never heard them do anything but say negative. And I've seen several reports that said 97% of their reporting since Trump has gotten into office, 97% has been negative, and primarily on Russia. That is insane and unheard of and ridiculous. And even if you don't like the guy, nobody is that bad. Nobody. I mean, I didn't even like Obama, but he did some good things. My reporting on him, while it may be primarily negative, would not be 97% negative. That's just crazy. And when you see tables flip-flopped like that to that degree, it lets you know that there is a snake in the dirt and that there's something nasty going on.
Those things are true. But the president today put out this tweet which takes away from all of that. And you expect us
see, a
here in
single
this
tweet
room
doesn't take away
to
from any
simply
of that.
ignore that. I think that's the valid question that should be asked of you right now. Should we just ignore this entirely?
I think he's put out a number of tweets on healthcare, on the immigration bills that'll be in the House today.
Yeah, but they ignore all
that's not being
that.
talked about. That's not being asked about. But the discrepancy, again, 353 minutes. You can't say that you want to talk about policy and then you look at the numbers and they just don't lie. You
That's
can't
right.
expect for that amount of attack and intensity to come on a president and him to never respond. John Gizzi.
Yeah, and now see there, she nails him on two things. One, the way they attack him, and then giving him crap when he actually responds. I mean, that's like you walk up to somebody on the street, you punch them, and then you bitch and moan and complain of the fact that they hit you back. You know what? Yeah, if you hit me, I'm going to knock you on your ass. It doesn't matter whether you do it verbally, if you do it physically. You know, you start a fight, it's going to happen. And that's what they've been doing to him. And that's the point that she's making. And then the other point that she's making is the fact that they sit here in this room and complain about policy and whether or not the focus is on the agenda and all that. But yet she's telling them, look at your reporting. Your reporting, you guys can set the agenda. You have the ability and the capability to talk about all these things. You can talk about the agenda and all the good things, but you've chosen not to. You continue to chase this fake story. And the numbers, like she said, they don't lie. So here they are constantly trying to make it out like it's Trump and it's them. This is what the left does on every single issue. They are the one that does it, and then they turn around and point the finger at somebody else. Whether it's racism or genderism or making up news, you know, they're the ones that do it. You know, the leftist and the Democratic Party create the KKK, and then they claim everybody else is racist, and then somehow magically got all the minorities to actually believe the bullshit and frickin' vote for them despite all the horrible rotten junk they've done to them. Here, we'll finish this up.
I said I was going to John Gizzi next.
Two questions for you, Sarah. First,
No, okay, that was it. All right. I guess they decided to cut that guy off. But anyways, that is that. And I hope you enjoy, hope you agree. And remember to punch like and subscribe. And there is plenty more coming. I've got a lot saved up that I hadn't got to yet. You have a great night.